CASA is an acronym for Court Appointed Special Advocate, and we teach volunteers in the courts to work in the court system for abused and neglected children. These volunteers speak up in court to make sure that every child to whom they're assigned has the opportunity to grow up in a safe, permanent, and loving home.
It's my passion for volunteering and my passion for children. And I just felt this is something that I wanted to do and where I was placed.
Our goal is to make sure that every child has a family. You know, whether they're adopted by the family or they return to their birth family or they live with grandma and grandpa, that they have a safety net for when they're 18. Because anyone who has teenagers knows that they all think they're grown when they're 18, but they're not. I mean, they need family support. They need guidance about what, how to choose a career and how to go to college if that's what they want to do, or how to find an apartment on their own.
I had the first case where we had three children. All three children were ultimately adopted by the grandparents and stayed within the main family, although the parents voluntarily gave up their rights. The second one, where the little baby was ultimately adopted out by the foster parents, who were a super good family. The third case, again, there were three children, and they were ultimately reunited with both of their parents in their home. And the case I'm working on now is still undecided what's going to happen.
Naturally, all of the children do want to be returned to their parents because it's the only people that they know, the only home that they know. So removal is never a good thing for them. They're going into, most times, a strange atmosphere where they don't know them, and the foster parents don't always know the children. So it's a getting to know you thing. It's very stressful for everyone involved, especially the children. I
think it's been fairly well shown that abused people wind up abusing other people, and it goes from generation to generation. And that's what we're hoping to break, is that cycle of abuse. If we can stop that while they're children, we can possibly stop the future in that particular chain. But it does go from abused parents, or usually have been abused themselves.
The most common situation that we see with the children that we work with is parents who are addicted to drugs and alcohol. About 70% of the children that we work with come from families where there's some kind of substance abuse problem. It could be alcohol, it could be methamphetamine, it could be marijuana or prescription drugs.
One family was mixed up with drugs and multiple sex partners. The mother had multiple sex partners all living in the house at the same time, and they were removed for psychological abuse. There's just physical, it's physical abuse. That's probably the hardest to deal with, because for me personally, but most of the problems I have seen in the 4 cases I've had are just psychological and emotional abuse of the kids, because the parents don't get along and they just don't know how to deal in society.
If I were to put into one sentence advice that I would give to parents, I would say to them, treat your children as you would like to be treated. This is the golden rule, and sometimes it's very difficult with a changing world, but it is the basis of good human connection and love, to treat everyone as though you would like to be treated.